Hi folks, a bit of a flaw in my painting system by putting the board, my painting board, over the oils and latched onto the slider for the big easel. I put my palette down and it went into the yellow ochre and the yellow, cadmium yellow, all over my brand new jeans, one pair that actually fit, so that they're in the wash. So I'm now trying out the washing powder that cleans all the brushes very beautifully. Get this cadmium yellow off my black jeans. So, bad start to the day. Lots of anger, lots of invective. So here we are to do a watercolour for you. So we'll wet the paper all over. This is the Saunders Waterford £90. I think I might. I'm going to put the light on. There we be. There are the overheads. I hope it doesn't shine too much. It's they're LED lights that I bought. Now come with 15-year warranty. Probably because they give a lot of light, but for very, very low wattage, which is fine by me. Okay, now that will expand, so I'll reclip it and I'll get a bit of a sky colour in. I had yellow ochre all over the back of it, and I rested it on my jeans, a great big dollop of cadmium yellow. So you can imagine what I said. Oh Vicar, that's a blast. I've ruined my new jeans. Now what? Say to me. So I'll put a bit of warm colour. I'll do another snow scene, I think. I was going to do one for my patrons, but I finished rather abruptly with the other one, so we'll see if I can make up for it. Right. Now, bit blue. I don't know where it's coming from. These are Cotman colours, so they're not as saturated as the artist quality, of course. Now, if you paint top over the top with sort of a big dark cloud, it gives more realism. It focus your attention further down. I never put a bit in there. Snow colour. This really is a superb paper. It's not cheap, but why you use £140 weight when you can use £90 rough? That is such a wonderful surface. It's very porous. Let's just get a bit more over there. Right, okay. I'll reclip it, then I'll give it a bit of a dry. Okay. So I was watching or listening to a video on what's going on in YouTube, the massive changes that they're having to implement after a massive fine by the children's federal children's something in America. It's content for children mainly. You know, I've marked all my videos as adult only. They're not. I've got children watching this channel, school children who have children friends. If they have an interest in art, even under 13, YouTube is a place to go. But the problem is the choice of adverts that go on those children's videos. Right, I'll hold your breath. I'm just going to start to dry this. Right, ready, go. this is basic hake painting, but sometimes I do use a sable. I've got my green sable here, I might use it. Just a small one. Just to put in some background trees. So the blue. Too much water. It's critical, the water content on the brushes, even when you're working on something as rough as this. Now if you're struggling to do that, I struggled for years trying to do this. There's another one here, bigger one. Don't make them all the same. Now this all dries lighter when you put it on. Alright, okay, we'll put some chunks on there. Just a touch of red in the blue, so it's the same as the sky colour. The master of these sort of trees was Roland Hilda, great favourite of mine. Some distant ones. Just fill in. Let's go uphill here, really. See, there's all been downhill. Bit of a hill there. Okay, so far so good. I do like to put a path in, but I'm going to just use the impression of shadow. Just to give some undulations in the snow. Okay, then we'll give that a dry so I can put in some heavier stuff in the background. So take your headphones off or mute your sound, go. Let's do some more, but slightly warmer, more sort of sienna and blue, or even burnt umber. Try burnt umber, and a bit of ultramarine. So we'll put one coming up here. Let's going through that centre there. Coming down there. trying to give an impression of the shape of the twigs rather than any foliage. I don't know, it's not working that well at the moment. I've got into some, I have to clean that. I've got into some gouache, and that's no good because that'll make the colours opaque, of course. So let's just clean that off and start that again. Alright, clean the brush. Plenty of rag. I've got some on my lap, and I've got my big water pot on some toweling so that I can wipe the brush when I take it out of the juice. Right, so let's get some bit of heavier stuff in there. Right, get some greens, some panes, and some cad yellow, a bit of sienna. A bit of an evergreen in there. You do get evergreens as well. Nah, a bit of vigour, so water shape of that. There's a bit of sienna in there, just to warm it up a little bit. So there's a bit of variety. Bit of a tree tutorial on this one. Right, let's try another one over the other side. There's the edge of the brush. So I want to start with a fabulous evening last night at the Fairfield Halls, Croydon, the refurbishment of Fairfield Halls. This is South London. And it was the musical Buddy. We saw this years ago, when it first came out in the West End of London, that is. Now, Buddy Holly was a great favourite in the UK in the rock and roll. Well, he still is, even though he's been dead 60 years. And it's great that his name he's still in there as one of the all-time great rock and roll artists. Oh, it was such a great show. The show's sort of moved on from when we saw it. Much more variety in this one, but just a joyful evening. At the end, everybody was on their feet cheering. Oh, it was electric. One of the best shows I've ever seen. A friend bought it for my wife and I for our 50th wedding anniversary a month ago. I just wonder why I don't use sables more often. I didn't get home till 11 o'clock on the bus. Well, I pointed to taking a car. They've refurbed the auditorium, new bars and things. It's really lovely. But they haven't finished the car park, or the car park hasn't been done. So there's nowhere to park really, not local to it. That will happen next May apparently. Oh, there's a nice little winter tree there. Let's do another one. Slightly bluer. Bit of dry brush. See how rough that paper is? You wouldn't think so for such a light weight. Well, my word, it don't pack a punch. Okay, so let's do some texturing. I bought 2 of these brushes from the Arts in Action show when it's a lass, it's a bit in the dust now. We went to the 2 of them, we went to the last one. They're flogging off all their brushes cheap, and I bought 3 Kalinsky sables for about 20 quid. The 2 of these and this one. They're not long hair, but they do come to a very nice point. And that is a Kalinsky sable for about £12 that, I think. Ridiculous price. Alright, let's get some in here now. Yeah, it took, I'm not great at these, but it took ages for me to be able to paint a tree like Roland Hilda. But eventually you end up painting a tree like yourselves. Your tree. We've all got our ways of doing them. But it comes after years of practice. You don't start off with the ability to do it. You learn the ability. You learn to be talented. It comes after years of struggle. For most people, anyway. Alright, let's just get a little bit of green, a bit of ivy in here. And then you can have some bits just sticking out. All just impressions, just a bit of detail. Painting's all about texture. Well, our sort of painting anyway. Texture and the illusion of detail. I'm doing all these oil paintings by lifting out oil rather than putting oil in. Put the oil on the board with colours, of course, and then stroke it out with tissues and cotton buds, bits of paper, hairy brushes, cheap brushes like that, just push and scrape. But I'm really enjoying doing them. So I want to doing some watercolours for you, because I know you like the watercolours, but I like the oils. Although I started this channel doing watercolours. Let's get that oily. Oily. Bit of ivy. Probably got a bit muddy there. But I might put a bit of gouache in that. Okay, let's do something in that one. It's a bit wet. So we'll do some blue, a touch of red, just to make it a little bit more grey. Just a bit of filigree. Oh, it just says tree. Roughen up a bit. Alright. Not a lot more I'm going to do with this. I'll put a bit of gouache here and there. I'll just dry it off, so bear with me. So I just want to put some trunks in, or some branches in there. Now I think we need a bit more strength over there, on that side there, so we'll just put that in. Let's just bring this up a bit. Okay, well, when I fiddle about with the gouache, that can be drying off, and I can go back with some harder stuff. Payne's grey is a great shortcut to a dark and modifying blues and things. Probably not dry enough. We'll go back to that. Okay, now I'm going to put some gouache, a bit of bluey gouache. Well, a little bit heavy with that. I'll just put a bit of extra gouache in there. Right, bit of shadow. Touch of it is right. Like it's probably better colour than it is. We'll just put a bit strong, I think. some coming down there. I've gone a bit heavy with it. Okay, now just a little bit of sienna, quite thick. The paints. Not much more than that, folks. Okay, little birdie. Put him here. And a little signature. Put in a mount and we'll have a look at it. Oh, God, my head was. Ooh, a real pain in my wrist these days. Oh, well, I think Renoir had his hands wrapped up with bandages to help him, or even the brushes stuck to his hands, or bandaged to his hands, and they didn't have crepe stuff then, back then I shouldn't have thought. Oops, let's just... Right, well there we are. I've just changed the light. The sun's moved around quite a bit. So I just want to... Sorry son, I've not much of you lately. Well there we are, that's another great artist who sadly died. She was the president of the Carshalton Wallington Art Group, where I was a member for many years. Isabel Castle. You can pick her work up for some now, but you couldn't then when she was alive. It was quite expensive. She was pretty good. She modelled a lot of her work on Roland Hilda, who was a master at doing Kent scenes, Host House, but he's a brilliant draftsman anyway. And he did a calendar every year. Let's just pull that square down. A calendar every year, and I've got some of his calendars. Well, I've cut them up, and I occasionally use them as a bit of reference. But Isabel, she was made, or her husband was made redundant, so she really got serious about marketing her paintings, and she did quite successfully. And she was a lovely lady, larger than life, and great fun, but a brilliant watercolour painter. So I think she's got there's a gallery, or there's a collection of her works in various galleries. They're the ones that make the money, aren't they? But anyway, some of my paintings end up in a gallery. Right, I'll see you soon, folks. I hope you enjoyed that. Enjoy your weekends. Bye bye.